It's me. I'm gonna just go over what I've done with my mage, so you can maybe make one and have a go yourself. It's a Frostfire mage, so it's not a purebred. It's more of a, you use the ice to support your fire spells. So this is the tree for it anyway, so we go obviously first into the Firebolt, get the 3 points to get Enhanced Firebolt, Flickering Firebolt. And come down there, we'll get Frozen Orb 1 point, that's for enchantment later, Enhanced Frozen Orb and Frozen Orb Exploration, Great Frozen Orb, so it makes them vulnerable as well. And after that, we move on to Glass Cannon, you max that skill up. Get a point in Flame Shield and get up to Shimmering Flame Shield. This will be your heal and recharge barriers later. Also, we're putting a point in Frost Nova. Again, it's just to support your fire spells. So it's to cause vulnerability and freeze targets when they're in close range. Next thing we want is Precise Magic, which is Lucky Hit Chance, because we're going to need that a lot. These all just help with tank. You don't need these are optional. For now, until you get to a high level. We're looking at level 70 at the moment, so yeah. So after that we'll go down to Firewall, which is going to be our main damage dealer. So we want maximum 5 points in Firewall, Enhanced Firewall, and Mage's Firewall. If you want mana, you can do Wizard's Firewall, but I prefer Mage's Firewall, because you can get mana from other areas. You also need your 3 points in Inner Flames, for the Pyromancy skill damage, and the Fire in Place, 3 points. Then we also want 5 points in Blizzard, and we want Enhanced Blizzard, and Mage's Blizzard. So it lasts longer, because you only want to cast it once, really. Then we'll come down to our ultimate, so we'll get the Inferno, max that out to Super Inferno. These again are a bit later and optional. The main ones you want are Fiery Surge, 3, Endless Pyre, 3, Warmth, 3, because that helps you heal when you're in close range. Then obviously we're going to go for Combustion, because that adds more burning damage onto your effects. Then you'll have 6 points left over to put in Defensive and other things. I would definitely advise putting 1 point in Elemental Attunement, because it has a chance to reset your cooldowns on your defensive spells, which you'll be using a fair amount. Okay, then we'll go across to the Paragon. So first tree, just how much you got up the right hand side up until there, and then I put Control in here, which uses Dexterity, so we get more Dexterity on this one, and we'll go for non-physical damage, magic damage, more Dexterity, because the main stats you want are Dexterity and Intellect on basically everything that I found. And the first tree is going to be, which one were you again? You were Burning Instinct. So it's the damage over time. Yeah, damage to burning enemies one, which is, yeah, and then you just kind of want to flip it so that it's like this, so that your node's closer and you can get Cinders, Smouldering Embers, and work your way up to Kindling and get this later, because you don't need it immediately. You want to get those burning damage up first. And then in the socket I've put Adept, because most of your damage will come from your mastery skills. And there's a lot of intellect in this area, so we can buff it up quite a bit. Then the next one I think I put in Frostfall, I think it was. Icefall, legendary, no, Icefall. So this one will increase your damage against chilled frozen targets. So yeah, so 30% increased damage to chilled enemies, 10% on physical damage on that one. We'll also probably get this one a bit later. I'm working my way to get Icefall at the moment, because that's more barriers. Because every time you kill a frozen enemy, you get a barrier. And barrier is life. So I said the barrier thing is optional. Once you've got that, you probably won't need it as much. But I'd probably still put the points into the damage reduction, which is this one, mana shield. So whenever you spend 100 mana, you will eat through mana very fast. I'm not going to mess with that. But the trick of this spec is to throw down Blizzard with its extended timer, and then a Firewall straight away, and then just spam Firewall. And as mobs get closer, you then Frost Nova them and put a Firewall under them. Use your Flame Shield if you take damage to heal yourself up. And that's pretty much the strategy. And then Hoar Frost will help because it will help deal increased damage to chilled and frozen targets. Like I said, these ones are just your own choice really on these two, whether you want to go Mana Shield or more Barrier. Because that's damage reduction that goes up to 21%, I think. And this one will give you like 30% of your life as a barrier. Okay, then we go onto the items now. The items I've collected probably aren't the perfect ones yet. But at level 70, I'm already pushing 7,000 attack power, nearly 5,000 armor, 4,000 health, which is pretty good for level 70, which means I can handle tier 4 Hell Tides and all tier 4 basic dungeons, which are level 75 classes. I did this from level 65. So as you can see, a lot of these will have life and intellect and dexterity. There's a tiny bit of willpower on this one. I'm probably going to switch out later. I've still some adjustments I need to make. The double Frost Nova helps. Gives you an extra charge. This one is the barrier from attacking elites. Very important. Probably the most important enchant you can get. As soon as you hit an elite, you get a barrier. Don't worry about the invincibility bubble because you get that from your fire shield. So I see this one's got life, damage, dexterity, like very basic, but just does the job. This one again is crit strike and lucky hit. Again, intellect and stats. And imprinting more damage against stunned or frozen enemies. Also very useful for what we do, because we're going to be throwing down a lot of frozen, chilled stuns. Because the fire was done, the ice will chill, the ice will freeze. Very helpful. This one just gives us armor for doing damage, which is always helpful for a mage. Again, stack loads of intellect. Well, so this one has 4 Firewall, 3 Blizzard. I mean, the 42% damage after killing elites is very nice. Probably not what I'd want to keep in there. I'd probably want something like dexterity if I can. But for now, it works well. And this allows me to get some armor and a bit more tank. And do a ton of damage because of the Blizzard and Firewall ranks. So that puts your Firewall to rank 9 and your Blizzard to rank 8. And yeah, it's not the highest item level I could get at the moment, but it's so hard to replace. Next one down we've got is 4 ranks of Frost Nova. So it just makes your Frost Nova more effective. Again, dexterity, all stats. I would rather have intellect instead of fire resistance, but it takes materials to do that. The crowd control one is very useful as well. So whenever you crowd control enemies, the chance that is spread. I mean, for legs, you can use the unique Frost Nova one. That is really good for you as well. I was using it for a while, but I switched it out because I wanted the Blizzard and Firewall on this. It was just a no-brainer for me. Staff, I've just put increased damage while standing still for now because... yeah, but this one has a ton of intellect, a ton of all stats, and execute chance, damage over time, so your burn damage will do more. And then just more, I use the blue gems for crit strike damage to crowd control damage because our main game is to just crowd control and wreck. Okay, move on to neck. Okay, so this one includes ice spikes when in the Blizzard, which is really nice. I mean, there's probably some other bits and bobs you can put in there, but I mean, this is a pretty standard necklace. It's got like damage reduction, fire damage over time, crowd control, pyromancy skill. It's not got base stats because they don't really have them on the accessory. So these are quite good stats to look for. Or maybe have a variation of critical damage or more damage over time, or fire frost damage is what you're looking for. Mother's Embrace. That's just again, pretty much pretty standard for rings. all stats, lucky hit chance, crit strike damage, overpower damage. Very helpful. Can't change it because it's unique. The Devious Hearts on this season are really good as well. This one allows me to regen more mana. And with this one has core skill on it. Well, technically, when you're using your enchanted Frostbolt, you will do more mana regen. And then again, using the cooldowns, which you'll be using a lot because you're using Firewall and Frost Nova to defend yourself and freeze targets and CC and stuff, and that'll give you tons of mana back as well. This one has the Wrathful Heart, which is really good. Crit strikes and all subsequent damage within 2 seconds is absorbed by a target, then explodes. I mean, I've had at this level nearly 700,000 damage because it increases it by 14%. So basically increases it by 24% because it's per second. Which is, you get that from completing the seasonal, but not, there's a trick to it where you beat the boss, and then you exit the game, and you can go back and beat the boss again, until you get a good Wrathful Heart, and just keep doing that. Just don't hand in, speak to the guy, until you've got what you want, because obviously you have to wait ages to get the next one. Okay, in abilities, I'll just bring up my, new. Okay, so down here, basic simple enchant here is Frozen Orb and Firewall. Because whenever you cast non-basic skills, you take a chance to launch a Frozen Orb at a target. Again, this will again cause vulnerability, Frozen Chill, which is all what we're doing right now. And then Fire will just randomly appear underneath a target, burning them for more damage. And yeah, I'll just give you a quick view of how it all works. You just go outside.
Not while I'm in town.
Give me that. Yeah, door. Okay, so I'll just show you a quick rotation, just so you can see how I built it. Just got to find something if I blow up. Come on. Never a pack of mobs in my pack of mobs. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, Blizzard, Firewall. Frost Nova because they're in close, and because they're just dead. You use a Firewall to heal off the poison, heal your health back a bit. And yeah, you're good. You're using Inferno when you've got elites. So you use that when you've got elites, and then you just spam Firewall. Obviously the Blizzard on top, get the skill damage in there, and it just absolutely obliterates them. And as they break out, use a Frost Nova, and carry on just use the Firewall. And yeah, that's pretty much the rundown of how this works. Okay. That's it. Alright, well, guys, have a play with it, and if you can't have any other ideas, let me know. Have a good day.